In a small town nestled in the mountains, there was a man named John. John was a successful businessman who had everything he could ever ask for: wealth, power, and success. He lived in a grand mansion and drove fancy cars. He was known throughout the town as a man of great knowledge and intelligence. But despite all of this, John felt unfulfilled. One day, as he was taking a walk in the hills outside of town, he came across a group of Zen practitioners who were meditating under a tree. They welcomed him and invited him to join them. John was skeptical at first, but he decided to give it a try. As he sat down and closed his eyes, he could feel a sense of peace wash over him. For the first time in his life, he felt truly relaxed. As he meditated, he felt more at ease. He noticed that for most of his life, he'd always had a feeling of unease inside him, a feeling of being trapped, of being held captive. He opened his eyes and asked the Zen master about this feeling. "What is it that troubles you?" asked the Zen master. "It's this feeling inside me," replied John. "I feel like I'm trapped, like I'm being held captive." The Zen master smiled. "Ah yes, that is a false human belief," he said. "The false human belief?" asked John. "It is the belief that you are limited, that you are trapped, and cannot break free from your bonds," explained the Zen master. "It is a belief that is conditioned into our minds." Once, there was a man passing by a zoo. The Zen master began. As the man was passing by the elephants, he suddenly stopped, confused by the fact that these huge creatures were being held by only a small rope tied to their front leg. There are no chains or cages. It was obvious that the elephants could, at any time, easily break free from their bonds, but for some reason they did not. He noticed a trainer nearby and asked why these animals just stood there and made no attempt to get away. "When they are very young and much smaller, we use the same size rope to tie them, and at that age, it's enough to hold them," the trainer explained. "As they grow older, they are conditioned to believe they cannot break free. They believe the rope can still hold them, so they never attempt to free themselves." The man was taken aback. These animals had the ability to break free from their bonds at any time, but because they believed they couldn't, they remained trapped. How many of us, like the elephants, go through life believing that we can't do something because we failed at it before? Failure is a necessary part of the learning process. We should never give up the struggle in life. You fail not because you are destined to fail, but because there are lessons you must learn as you progress through life. In the end, John understood that the false human belief was just that, a false belief. In the end, John understood that the false human belief was just that, a false belief, and that by letting go of it, he was able to live a more meaningful and fulfilling life.